Scott, there's a hot new game in town, a new survival game called Once Human. But the EULA says it might ask for your government ID, and you can guess how well that went.
Yeah, truly bizarre. I've never seen a game have this much overreach, we'll say.
Yeah, weird. Sharif Saeed over at VG247 had this to say. Once Human, it's a long one, so bear with me. Once Human has been one of the year's more highly anticipated survival games. After enjoying several successful beta tests, it coasted on a lot of enthusiasm from the community, which accumulated with even more positive buzz from the Steam Next Fest demo, where more players got their hands on it. Scott, have you checked this out at all?
No, I actually haven't. I've been referred to this game by a couple friends, though.
It's picking up some steam, to say the least. The free-to-play survival shooter.
Oh.
I'm here all day.
Rare you get me with those.
Has officially launched, and now it did run into an all-too-common launch day issues. Players are mostly upset with something that has a little to do with the game itself. The EULA of Once Human contains a few terms many players took issue with. The game is developed by Starry Studio, a team within Chinese publishing giant NetEase, which also published the game. As spotted by Games Radar, the game's privacy policy seems to be a little too far-reaching compared to those found in most games. You have the regular notes about all data collection, both for gameplay reasons as well as other data to be used for marketing. As players quickly discovered, however, some of that includes more sensitive user data, such as geolocation, and could even extend to government issue IDs. What the heck is happening there? What many players also found alarming was how NetEase, dude, I mean, is NetEase just becoming maybe a bit of a problem, Scott? Right?
Uh-oh, you're getting too locked into it now.
May rely on, quote, other sources, end quote, to collect said data, meaning the information doesn't strictly come from playing the game. Come on, man. As many of the game's negative reviews on Steam point out, the fact NetEase is able to collect user data outside the game, such as social media accounts, could allow it to be more robust profiles of every player. This data could then be sold to advertisers, never mind the ethical and privacy concerns. Indeed, most of Once Human's negative reviews come from players who barely spent any time playing it, opting to only post a review to bring attention to the issue. Some reviews, of course, talk about how more gameplay relevant issues such as server stability and character limits. Scott, it's day one. What server ever works the way it's supposed to on day one? For any game?
Yeah, that's generally, unfortunately, a given that there's going to be problems day one. And usually for at least a few weeks afterwards. But not generally does somebody take a fine-tooth comb to a EULA just like this.
Yeah,
it makes you wonder. We scroll past a lot of them all the time. And just kind of hit, yep, I've seen this, yep, check the box, and you move on. But somebody actually read this one.
Dude, I never read these. Like, I'm one of those. Like, how many of us actually read those things? Oh, you want me to... Bottom? Accept. Right?
The worst is when they make you scroll all the way down.
Yeah. Yeah. You're making it look like I actually read this. I didn't read this. Scroll to the bottom, move on, right? The noise was loud enough that the developer issued a statement on the game's official Discord server to address those concerns, particularly clarifying the government ID line, explaining that the information won't be kept on NetEase's servers. Quote, NetEase takes our users' data privacy very seriously and adheres to the data privacy principles such as data minimization, purpose, limitation, and transparency, end quote, the developer wrote, as relayed on the Steam forums. Quote, for example, we would only collect government issue IDs for the following reasons, where the local laws require us to do so, such as for a specific promotion. Pause.
See, now that might be local laws that might just be somewhere completely different than us. So
yes.
Maybe that's not such a ginormous purpose of this, but
Still an interesting little tidbit of information. When the identity of a user's parent must be verified to obtain consent for their child, if required by applicable child protection laws, or when the user wishes to correct their age information. Maybe they shouldn't use this information when it comes to their age in the first place. However, we've all done it, Scott.
Yeah,
Again,
I think Twitter believes I'm 93 or something.
yeah, right. Again, if such verification is required by law. In any case, the ID information is deleted immediately after we have fulfilled the purpose of collecting the ID information in the first place. End quote. It's not the smoothest launch for a survival game. Despite rapidly closing in on 100,000 concurrent players on Steam, the mixed review rating certainly doesn't place it in the best light. All of that might not end up mattering to survival game fans, however. Scott, are you going to check this out? Are you concerned that you're going to have to hand in your ID?
I am curious enough to check the game out.
Weird.
But I'm a little bit, well, just curious, not quite disturbed on this situation, because generally they're taking your data, gameplay, marketing reasons. That's generally done for almost everything we do. Every game we play, every website you go to.
Yeah.
But I'm used to being just a number in those systems, not having a face to the name. So the idea that somebody is going to be able to, or the information will be gathered in some way, is kind of strange, because it just opens you up to, what if they're hacked? What if something happens to their data is breached? But then again, like I said, that kind of can happen anywhere you go. So I'm not sure how I feel about it exactly.
We live in such a connected world in the first place, right? So the fact that they need me to submit my ID is a little worrisome, but at the same time, somebody's already got my ID somewhere else anyways. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not that naive to think that somebody, if they want to, they could hack me necessarily, right? Like, it is out there. There are opportunities. I'm a pretty simple guy, and if you want to hack what I have, you're gonna be pretty disappointed. So it's
well, it's not gonna be targeted,
right? Like, it's one of those things. It's just a weird term to have in there that we'd never see in any other game. Like you say, right? How often have you just scrolled to the bottom and hit the X button or whatever you need to hit to move on and check the box so we can just play the game? At the end of the day, we just want in on the game to play it. This might come up in future games, and I'm curious to see how the backlash is hit with this, because, man, this is the start of something, right? And this has to cut off. I think the other concern is NetEase's policy.
Yeah, it's interesting that everybody's taking a lot harsher of a stance when they're analyzing what's happening with new games. If you have to sign in on PlayStation, nobody wants to do that. If you have to give away extra information, nobody wants to do that. It seems like all the gamers want to do is just play the game that we're offered.
Absolutely. We want to hear from you. ITGTV.com. Have you played Once Human? You handing out your ID?